This is all the things I wish I'd known before starting airbrushing. Let's start with the things you need. An airbrush of course, a compressor, air hose, airbrush paint thinner, airbrush cleaner, cotton buds, a mask as the airbrush generates a lot of matter in the air, or get an extractor but that's not essential, an area to spray as there will be overspray. I use this cheap unit, and suggest for squirting water to help cleaning, a pipette. There's loads of brands available, I won't go through the relative pros and cons of them, but what to look for, go for a dual feed airbrush. This controls the airflow and the paint flow separately. You need a gravity feed airbrush. The paint well is on the top and it's fed through gravity. For the nozzle and needle sizes, for large surface areas only and a bigger spread of paint, also requires less paint thinning and gets fewer clogs, consider 0.5mm or above. Smaller details go for 0.15 to 0.2, these are only for experienced users I'd say. Or for just starting off, go for 0.3 to 0.4. I went for this one, which is a 0.4, and it's been great. My tip is to not get an airbrush to do priming. Yes, you can, but you can't really beat rattle cans. And since airbrushes dry and get clogged quickly, trying to get a lot of primer coverage is annoying and inefficient. When buying a compressor, consider the decibel volume, as you'll have to live with it. Or one with an air tank so you can actually paint in the quiet for a bit. A good guide to compressor pressure is 20 psi. Get used to controlling the flow of air and paint. Press down to control the airflow, pull back to control the paint flow. Always engage the air first and finish each spray with air as well. This keeps things clear longer and avoids clogs better. Also avoids paint splatters. A simple tip, keep the lid on. I tried to copy the videos where people never put the cap on, and of course it always ends up with a spillage. Obviously you can buy airbrush paints, but if you're like me and you just want to use your existing paint supplies, then they probably need to be thinned so they can be used. The easiest way is to add a few drops of thinner or water to the airbrush first, then add your paint. Thinners first as it avoids blockage a bit more. You mix it with a brush, then place your finger over the end and spray, causing a back pressure and bubbles to mix. The ideal consistency is about skim milk, a bit watery. I still don't get it right, but it doesn't stop me getting a really good finish with my airbrush. You'll be cleaning about as much as you are painting. The airbrush dries and clogs regularly, so get in the habit of washing it through with water regularly. I have a simple and cheap setup with Tupperware, and most of the time, flushing with water does the trick. I'd start with getting used to taking your airbrush apart, as that's the best way to clean it. You don't need to completely strip it down. Just squirt water in, flush through, use cotton buds to wipe areas, perhaps take it apart and wipe a bit more, and the end will always get dried paint on it. Switching paints isn't quick. You don't need to use airbrush cleaner all the time. If you intend to stop painting for a while though, then this is definitely needed. And this is my top tips. Let me know what your top tips are, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.